we are finally leaving Vietnam. We are moving out to the Philippines. With that move, I need to reset. And when I say reset, I need to realign what my goals are and what I want to achieve in the next couple years. Because going out there and just living and doing nothing isn't going to accomplish anything. In my 10 years living in Vietnam, I've opened 2 businesses, I've invested more, I've built more out of myself. And I've also built this YouTube channel. So thank you guys for following along that have followed through this. With that being said, we need to build, or I do, need to build a new plan for the future living out there. And today I thought it'd be kind of fun to go through this process and why I do it, to give you an insight on how I plan my life moving abroad. Because if you're gonna come out here, you can't just depend on being a teacher or just getting married or on your last $5,000 thinking you're going to figure it out. You have to have a plan. So when I come to this, the first thing I do is I create an idea. What do I want to do? Who do I want to be? Where do I want to be in 3 years? I always stick to a 3-year goal because it's reliable. Anything at 5 or 10 years is very hard to control, and time just changes too much. So it's hard to say in 5 years I'm going to do this, and then technology flies past you and then you're like, wow, that goal is very old. So I always do a 3-year goal, and every day I work towards that goal, and I do a 1% every day type of a thing to make sure that I meet that goal and I become better every day that I move forward. So with that being said, the first thing I do is I just self-reflect. Who am I today and who do I want to be, and how do I get there? The reason why. My 7 whys, which I'll show you here in a minute, was ultimately open a school in Vietnam for English, math, and science. And the final motivational point to it was because I wanted to help the kids out here. I wanted to help the people. I wanted Vietnam to surpass the competition and be a dominant power out here. And the best way to be the best of the best is to be educated, to be smarter. And that was my objective. That was my goal. Number 1, I'm going to put on the side this idea of what it is. This is not an easy task to do. I learned this from Dean Graziotti a long time ago when I went to one of his real estate seminars out in Arizona, Phoenix. It wasn't Phoenix, it was right outside of Phoenix, but it was in Arizona. And he had this 7 why thing, and he wrote it in a book as well. I'll try to put the book up here if I can find it. What it is number 1 why is what do you want to do? Number 2 is why do you want to do that? And then as you answer these questions, you start getting down to the core of the purpose. My core of the purpose was I wanted to help Vietnam because I felt the education was flawed. And that was the goal. So you need to find out what you want to do and what is the why for it. Now, once you get that why, this is what comes to the next part, the 3-year goal. When I say a 3-year goal, a lot of people get this idea of like, what is your 5-year goal? If you've lived in the West, you would know this phrase you get when you go to a job interview or something. You always get this question of what is your 5-year? What is your 10-year goal? It's a hard answer to give because who knows what's going to happen 5 years ago. If you think about 1995, Tupac was still alive and technology was a flip phone. But when it came out to right about the year 2000, we had computers apparently going to explode. We had mobile phones that you didn't need to connect to a wall. Things changed very fast. And how things are going now in 2025 forward, they're going even faster. So I've always found the 3-year goals immaculate. It's the best way to go. Where you want to be 3 years from now. And the point of this setup is your 3-year goal is your final why. Now, your first year is pretty much how do you get to year 2 that you set. And year 2 is how do you get to year 3, which is your ultimate goal. And the idea of this 3-year plan is every year you're going to take year 2, year 3 and move it forward to year 1. And then you're going to reevaluate your year 3. This is how you build the 5-year plan. Over 2 years, you will have a 5-year plan that actually makes sense. And you've already been working on it. So if you are in the members group, I've done 2 or 3 videos on how to do this. Here's a little spreadsheet I'll give you of what it looks like on what I talk about in here. I'm not going to explain it too much here. Again, check out the members video if you want to see how I break this down. This is a priceless $1,000 tip that I learned going through seminars and having mentors that were not cheap to have. And it's been a life changer for me. So make sure once you find your why, create a 3-year goal that revolves around that intent. And this leads to number 4. One of the most challenging things living abroad is surrounding yourself with like-minded, motivating people. When I lived in America, I was able to join meetup.com groups for real estate, for investing, for crypto, for stocks, for bouldering, for calisthenics, for anything I wanted. There was a group in America on this website. If you do live in America, go to meet.com. It's an amazing website. It's not a dating site. It's where you type in your hobby or whatever it is. And a bunch of people that are like-minded create a group and they have meetups and they do whatever, right? This is an awesome thing to do. Unfortunately, in Asia, this isn't as easy. One, a lot of hobbies out here aren't a thing. When I started doing calisthenics and bouldering, I was a minority, an extreme minority. Like, it's kind of like, why don't you play badminton or sleep? What is this calisthenic? Why don't you just get drunk? What is all this climbing a wall? Where are you going anyways, right? So this is going to be a challenge for you, but there are solutions for it. My years living out in Vietnam and being able to create these businesses, I had to meet a lot of people. I've met lawyers, I've met business professionals, I've met other expats that came out here with more intent than just being a teacher. So find the people around you. If you're surrounding yourself with a bunch of friends that just get drunk all day and they're out here to be a teacher, then they're going to go about their way. Pretty much a backpacker, which isn't a bad thing, but understand that that motivation from them is not going to push you towards your goal. It's going to push you towards your entertainment. For me personally, people that go out a lot, party, drink, get drunk all day, they're part of my 10%ers. And the 10%ers are where I spend 10% of my time with. And another byproduct of this is you're going to have new hobbies, new habits, right? And this reminds me of back in Thailand. I used to live out in Pattaya, like right out west side of it. So it wasn't in the general area. But the thing about a lot of the guys out there, they were retired, they were married, whatever it was, but they loved to go out every morning at 5:30 a.m. and walk for 10 kilometers at this local park. So I wanted to do that. I wanted to be part of this group, and I joined this group. But there was a catch. I couldn't go out to Pattaya and get drunk until 2 a.m. because I would be waking up 3 or 4 hours later, out of my mind, still drunk, not able to walk 10 kilometers. This forced me in a positive way to cut down my drinking to the point where I just kind of stopped. And I felt better waking up at 5:30 in the morning, getting out there with my new friends and exercising, talking about real world stuff, talking about life, talking about investing, and learning new things from them. So find things that you like to do. Find groups that are like-minded and keep yourself around a lot of people that are like-minded. Being around a bunch of expat teachers is fun. I know it. I lived it. But it does have to be limited. And finally, number 5, your health. This is one of the most important things, and unfortunately, one of the last things I ever really put a focus on. Yes, I went out and I did 10-kilometer walks. Yes, I did 100 push-ups every day. Yes, I did a bunch of jump roping, but I wasn't really doing it for the overall health. I was just doing it because I felt good about myself. Yay, I jump roped today. Yay, I did 100 push-ups. I'm cool. I'm healthy. Let's get drunk. You guys can't do this. Take your health serious. The younger you are, the more you get away with. I know this. When I was younger, I could eat all day at McDonald's and get drunk all day, and I still had a six-pack. Now, if I eat a hamburger, I'm in trouble. I never thought I'd be having this conversation because I used to laugh at my dad for saying this. But this is what happens. So take your health very serious. And this means your eating. This means your physical fitness. This means your mind. If you want to get into meditation, get into yoga, get into calisthenics, whatever it takes, but give your mind clarity. Give your body good food and give your muscles and your heart something that it needs, exercise. If you don't have a strong, healthy diet and a mindset and a body, everything we've talked about today is pretty much going to fail because your mind's not going to be with it. Your body's not going to be with it. And the focus is just not going to be there. So take care of your health. Decide and find out what your goal is. Do your 7 whys on why you want to do this. Create a 3-year plan to actually make this happen. And if you're not in my members group, join it. Ask the questions in Discord. Watch the videos I have in the members group about writing these goals. There's no time to be screwing around. 2025 is ugly. It is getting worse. You guys see the news. You see what's going on. We have to be stronger and better for it. So with that being said, guys, if you do want to see what my life was like in Vietnam, definitely check out my Vietnam playlist. And for everybody else waiting for the Philippines, I will be seeing you guys very soon. Hit the subscribe button so you get the updates to those videos. And with that, I'm going to get out of here. Thanks for watching. I will see you again.